The darkness is a solid thing. It has weight and a voice, a chorus of hisses that slithers from the blackness, punctuated by the dry scrape of claws on stone, inside the shallow overhang. A hollow in the rock that is more a gesture than a fortress. The clan is a knot of silent terror. They are the people of the broken stone, homo habilis to a future they cannot conceive. And tonight, they are the cornered prey. Outside, the pack hunts. They are not one of the great thunder lizards that shakes the world of prehistoric life, but a more intimate horror. The Deinonychus are spectres of muscle and feather, moving with a fluid, coordinated malice that speaks of a chilling intelligence. They are pack hunters, and this siege is their art. The elder, a male named Graw with scars mapping his arms, grips a length of fossilized bone. Beside him, others clutch the sharpened stones that give them their name. The crude pinnacle of old Doan technology. These tools are meant for scraping marrow and butchering carcasses, not for fending off a dozen swift, tomato killers. The air is thick with the smell of damp earth, unwashed primate bodies, and the acrid tang of fear. Every so often, a lean, feathered head darts into the narrow opening, its jaws snapping, giving them a glimpse of serrated teeth, before a desperate jab from a sharpened rock drives it back. But these are just tests, probes to measure their resolve, to find the weakness. The hissing outside never stops, a constant, unnerving dialogue between the hunters. Their coordinated movements feel less like instinct and more like a tactical discussion, a living, breathing dinosaur documentary of a merciless hunt. A young male named Kale huddles near the back, his small frame trembling. He is no warrior. His value to the clan lies in his hands, in his uncanny ability to see the blade hidden within a piece of raw flint. He clutches to such stones now, their weight a familiar but useless comfort. He should be working, chipping away to create a better hand axe, a sharper scraper, but his fingers are numb with cold and dread. A sudden, piercing shriek from the entrance sends a fresh wave of panic through the huddled group. One of the hunters, bolder than the rest, made a lunge. Graw met it with a desperate swing of his bone club, connecting with a wet, satisfying crunch. The creature recoiled, screeching in fury and pain, but the attack has emboldened the pack. The hissing rises in pitch and volume. They sense blood. They sense weakness. The assault becomes more frantic. A flurry of snapping jaws and probing claws at the edges of their pathetic barricade. Kale can hear them scrabbling higher up the rock face, testing the stone, searching for another way in. Their survival is not a given. It is a moment-to-moment negotiation with an enemy that owns the night. The pack outside is a living engine of destruction, a creature of many bodies with a single, hungry mind. They begin to climb, their sickle claws finding purchase on the weathered rock face above the overhang. Stones and dirt rain down into the shelter. The clan flattens themselves against the back wall, their primitive barricade now useless. They low, guttural growl echoes from above they have found a way over. Graw looks up, his face a mask of grim acceptance. The end has come. The story of their small branch of human ancestors will be scratched into the dirt by raptor claws and then forgotten. There is nowhere left to run. This is the brutal truth of prehistoric life. Panic, cold and absolute, finally shatters Kale's paralysis. He cannot fight them. He cannot outrun them. But he can make tools. It is the only thing he knows. His hands, no longer numb, move with a frantic, desperate energy. He grabs the 2 pieces of flint, ignoring the chaos at the cave mouth. A sharper edge. He needs a sharper edge. He needs a weapon that can slice through feathered hide. His desperate act of flint napping is not the careful, practiced craft he usually employs. It is a violent, clumsy assault on the stone. He raises one rock high and brings it down hard against the other. The blow is a glancing one, scraping stone against stone with a sickening screech. A spray of tiny, orange stars arcs through the oppressive dark. They are gone in an instant, swallowed by the gloom. He doesn't see them. He only feels the failure of the strike, the jarring vibration in his arm. He strikes again, harder. his grunts of effort lost in the rising din of the attacking pack. More sparks fly, a fleeting, impossible constellation in their doomed world. One of these tiny embers, born of Terran silica, falls upon the pile of dry moss and lichen Kale uses for a sleeping mat. At first, nothing. Then, a single reed eye glows in the tinder. A thin, ghostly tendril of smoke, smelling sharp and strange, snakes upward. Kale strikes the stones a third time, his focus absolute, and as he does, a tiny tongue of yellow flame licks up from the moss. It wavers, fragile and uncertain, a newborn thing in a world of teeth and claws. Then it catches, growing with a soft, hungry whoosh. Light, blinding, dancing, living light, floods the cramped space. The clan gasps as one, their terror shifting its target. They scramble back, away from this new, writhing entity. The deep, primate instincts scream at them. Fire is pain, fire is destruction. It is the rage of the sky stone, the fury of the burning mountain. It is a thing to be fled, not created, but outside. The frenzied hissing of the Deinonychus abruptly stops. The scrabbling from above ceases. There is only a profound, stunned silence from the world of the hunters. The fire casts their monstrous shadows, huge and distorted, against the cave walls, turning them into demons of light and darkness. For a long moment, two distinct fears wage war within the cave. In front of them, the known terror, the hissing, clawing theropod pack, momentarily stunned but still a lethal presence at the edge of the light. Behind them, the new terror, the dancing, consuming spirit of the flame, their ingrained primate instinct, a fear millions of years in the making, screams that this bright, hot thing is death. They shrink from its heat, their eyes wide with superstitious dread. Kale, who midwifed this entity into being, stares at it, mesmerized. He watches as it consumes the last of the dry moss, its brilliant light beginning to shrink, the shadows of the cave beginning to creep back in. The hungry hissing from the darkness outside starts to regain its confidence. In that faltering light, Kale understands. He sees the fire not as a spirit, but as a creature. It is hungry, it is dying. This is the spark of consciousness, the leap of logic that will redefine hominid history. While the others are frozen by fear, he scrambles for a handful of dry twigs and brittle leaves he had gathered for bedding. His movements are hesitant, his hand trembling as he extends it towards the weakening embers. The clan lets out a collective gasp of horror. He is touching the demon, but the flame does not burn him. Instead, it reaches for his offering, and with a soft roar, it springs back to life, brighter and stronger than before. It devours the twigs, its light pushing the darkness back, casting the lurking Deinonychus into sharp, flickering relief. They shriek and recoil from the sudden resurgence of the light. Droll, the old warrior, is the first to grasp the implication. His eyes dart from the revitalized fire to the cowering predators and back. His mind, honed by a lifetime of brutal survival skills and the creation of ancient tools, connects the cause and effect. This is a weapon greater than any sharpened stone. He snatches a long, dry branch from their pathetic barricade and, with a grimace of determination, thrusts one end deep into the heart of the blaze. It smokes, sputters, and then captures, blossoming into a torch. He holds the captured son aloft. The light illuminates his weathered face, a visage of dawning, terrible power. He stalks to the mouth of the cave. The pack, which moments before had been ready to swarm them, scrambles back in utter panic. They have never seen a small, soft-skinned primate with the fury of a lightning strike. Grawl shoves the torch into the darkness, and the creatures tumble over one another to escape the searing heat and daily light. He lets out a defiant roar, a sound that is no longer the cry of cornered prey, but the bellow of a creature that has just discovered it is no longer on the bottom rung of the world's food chain. A few other males, emboldened by his example, light their own branches. They step out of the cave, a small phalanx of light bearers, and advance. The great hunters break and flee. They are intelligent, coordinated attack shattered by a power they cannot comprehend. The hisses and shrieks fade into the night, replaced by the crackle of the clan's fire. They are safe, huddled in the golden circle of warmth. They stare into the flames, their faces filled with a new and complex emotion, not just fear, but awe, and the dawning realization that the world, for them, has just changed forever. The story of K-less frantic spark is not recorded in any fossil, and the field of paleontology can only ever unearth the what, never the terrified why. Yet, in that smoke-filled cave, something more profound than bone was fossilized into the spirit of our lineage. This accident, born of desperation, became the first true act of defiance against a world that was built to erase them. It was the moment Homo habilis, and all the human ancestors that would follow, stopped being merely a reaction to their environment and started to become an actor upon it. The fire did more than warm their bodies. It illuminated their minds, creating a space for stories, for planning, for a future beyond the next sunrise. It was the first tool that tamed not just the world, but the darkness within their own hearts. Their struggle begs the question how many of our greatest leaps forward were not born of calm invention, but were snatched, screaming, from the jaws of absolute oblivion. This is the sound of the deep past, not as a whisper, but as a roar. The ice is coming.